Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Laura and today I'm going to be showing you the shawl wall.
Okay, so we're going to be doing something just a little different this week. So instead of my weekly, or not weekly, because we talked about that the last episode, they're not happening every week. I can't really come up with enough knitting progress in a week to do a weekly update, vlog style on what I've been working on and what I've finished. So I thought that this might be something you might be interested in, a slightly different segment. And the other thing is I have all these things that I knit years and years and years ago before the podcast or before the YouTube channel, and I really wanted to share some of those things with you because they're still special, and they're just not like being featured because I'm not actively working on them or wearing them in the podcast. So either way, I hope you enjoy this. This is my shawl wall. I've knit more shawls than this, but this is what I haven't given away or gifted over the years. And so the first one, we'll just grab a little guy. I love doing little kerchiefs. This is the Multnomah, and it is, I believe it's a free pattern on Ravelry. You might have to double check some of my information here. I knit this quite a few years ago. I think this is one of the first pattern shawls I did like this. It has a really beautiful like scalloped edge, and then the whole body of it's really simple triangular shawl. So yeah, this is one of my older ones. This is one that I made quite a long time ago, pre-Ravelry. So I don't actually know what this yarn is, unfortunately, but it's a beautiful hand-dyed. It was bought by my mother-in-law and gifted to me. She bought it at Shall We Knit in Kitchener, Ontario, but I can't remember the dyer's name, and honestly, we're going back quite a few years now. So this is a beautiful single skein shawl. As I said, I believe it's free on Ravelry. I think I've made more than one of these, but this is the only one I have still. And I really love the kerchiefs. I don't want to mess up my mic too much here, but the kerchiefs are wonderful for just popping around your neck like this. You can just kind of pull these ties in and then it stays pretty well tight. So that's nice. Hopefully you heard that. So like I said, one skein, really simple, really beautiful. I think they might call that a feather and fan design. And yeah, it's gotten a lot of wear over the years. Another kerchief style one, I might not go in order because I'm not going to, is is this one here. And this is a more recent knit for me. This is a nice crescent shape rather than a triangular. Has the nice picot edge. This is the Old Vines shawl by Knox Mountain Knit Co. So they are Canadian knitwear designers, and it has a really lovely, simple kind of leaf texture that goes through. It has the picot bind off, and then just lots and lots of stockinette with pearl ridges on the side. And it's another one of those ones that just takes one skein. I have knit a couple of these as well. It's a great pattern. This is not a free pattern, but I would definitely recommend picking it up from Knox Mountain Knit Co. Because it's a really lovely knit. And for me, like I have lots of single skeins of sock yarn that need using up. So yeah, same idea. It would just cross over on my neck like this. I know there are lots of other ways to wear shawls, but this is just how I prefer them myself. You could wear it as like more of a scarf around your back, or like I've seen people do really beautiful things, which I'm not capable of because I'm not that fashionable, where they drape like this. But yeah, it's another lovely one. This is knit in a club colorway by Hedgehog Fibers. I believe it was called Fool's Gold or something like that, but it was from a club, so it's not a colorway you can actively still get. It has this beautiful gray and little pops of like blue and green and gold and yellow. So it's really, really lovely. Something else I have from Knox Mountain Knit Co., which maybe I'll show you on another shawl that's bigger, are these, they call them the Knox Mountain Knit Cuffs. So it's an upcycled leather belt, and it has these snaps, and it's really nice as a little bit of decoration on your shawl, and it also helps kind of keep everything together. So yeah, I'm trying to put it on my wrist, but it doesn't quite fit, but maybe with one of the longer shawls, I'll show you how that works. So those are more like little cape or, what was I calling them? Bandana style. This is another really nice bandana style. This is a single skein as well, although this is a Gauge Dye Works shawl skein, so they are a little bigger. So this is, the pattern is the Sunlight Shawl for Sad People. And I can't remember the designer's name, but I believe this one is on my Ravelry page. So yeah, the name is the Sunlight Shawl for Sad People. And it just has a really, really simple triangle design. And you actually put in these little pearl ridges essentially whenever you feel like it. There was a whole write-up with the shawl. I knit this a few years ago, but it was basically just about making what you like and doing something repetitive and soothing, and just, yeah, a little shawl for sad people. I thought it was a great name. Anyways, so this is knit with a skein of Gauge Dye Works. They used to be known as Caterpillar Green, but we're going pretty far back now, so I think most people know them as Gauge. They are a Victoria dye company, and they specialize in these beautiful shawl stripes and sock stripes. So this yarn stripes itself into perfect thickness stripes as you knit along on an increasing shawl like this. So I can't remember the colorway on this, but it's, it's the one with the one stripe of bright pink in it. I have this in a sock skein as well. And you can see there's just tiny, tiny bits of pink in the gray as well. So this is another really lovely one, and you can end it whenever you like. It has the picot bind off as well. John was looking at these the other day when we were talking about the Shawl Wall, and he decided he likes the picot bind off, so that's good to know. If I ever make him a shawl. I'm so rambly, but yeah, this is a great pattern. Even if you don't have a self-striping shawl yarn like I do, this is just a really lovely pattern. I believe that the main, the pattern for their photos was just a plain one. And yeah, same thing, loop it around, throw it on, pop a color. So yeah, as I said, the Gauge Dye Works shawl skeins are generally a little bit bigger. They're like over 100 grams. But this still technically is a single skein shawl. This one over here is called the Jaywalker, and this is going to be hard to show. This one is really long. So I actually really like this. I think this was an Andrea Mowry thing. She would tie her little dangle in a knot. So I've obviously copied her here because I love her. Yeah, so this is the Hitchhiker shawl. I might have said something else before, but it's the Hitchhiker. So it has all these toothed points on the one side, and then on the other side, it's just plain. So it's got this really cool construction where you start in this teeny tiny corner and you're making a little tooth every now and again, and then it just keeps expanding outwards on a diagonal like this. So another beautiful single skein shawl. I think the Hitchhiker is a reference to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And this yarn is by my friend, it was dyed by my friend Rowie, who is Pirates Yarn. I can't remember the colorway. This is quite an old one, but she's not dyeing anymore anyways. So I've made more than one of these as well. I believe I gifted one of these to my sister-in-law. And yeah, I love it. It's a nice one too. You know, the nice thing about all these different shapes is, like, this one still works like a bandana, but you end up with a lot more kind of texture going on because you have all these toothy bits. Just so glamorous, Laura. And left it dangling. I don't know. I haven't worn this one in a while. I had this way of putting it on, which looked great, let me tell you. Not nearly as awkward as this looks. Maybe it's like this. Maybe it was just dangles. I don't know. It's a nice one too. I really hope I'm not messing my mic up too much. Just a really nice sort of like minty green turquoise with some pinks in there. Most of my jackets are like plain, like all of my clothes are plain. I wear a ton of gray and black. So it's nice to have little pops of color. This one here is a Stephen West pattern. This is the dotted rays. And it's another amazing shawl pattern. I used over 1 skein on this. I think I used close to 2 skeins on this. But I chose not to do any striping or anything. I was actually copying a podcaster at the time who did something in similar. They had 2 skeins of the same pretty, you know, space dyed sock yarn, and they made this shawl, and I was like, oh, that's gorgeous. It has the applied I-cord and then the I-cord bind off, and these beautiful short row crescents. So if you go on to Ravelry, you'll be able to see like self-striping versions, which really give you a better idea of the like how the shaping works when you're knitting it. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. But you know, my yarn definitely does disguise it a little bit, but there's all these little beautiful yarn overs, and you're making these kind of like stacked wedges that stack up on top of each other. Yeah, so you can see over on this side there are many, many little yarn over holes, and then as you kind of move over, you have a lot more just plain garter stitch. This is, I think, the only Stephen West pattern I've ever knit, which is nuts because I love his patterns, but I think I get a little daunted picking colors and things, so that's why this one was so great. I was like, oh, I'll just use these 2 beautiful skeins. So this is yarn that I purchased, you know, we're going back a few years now, but this is from Vivid Yarn Studio, and I think the color was called like Party Girl or something like that. It was dyed to go with another colorway in her shop. I'm pretty sure it was Party Girl. Yeah, and this has been off the needles for quite a few years as well, but I get a lot of wear out of this. Really beautiful, and again, just really easy to wrap around. This one, as you can see, is getting more, you know, you're getting more warmth up here. Like I'm on the West Coast, I don't need a ton of warmth, but it is a nice one. And then I have one more to show you. And then here is this beautiful one. And this is the Incremental shawl. And I believe Flock Fiber designed it. And this was a kit from Flock Fiber as well. So there is, in the kit, there was a full skein of this bright blue, and then there was 5 minis of gray, so going from light to dark to darkest. And yeah, this was a fun one. There's like different textures going on. I think, yeah, you alternate from like a garter stitch to like a purl rib design, and then you do these yarn over bits with the turquoise all the way through. And then I think I started, yeah, and then you like kind of increase them. And then just did a whole bunch on the bottom as well. And picot bind off for a little texture. And my little knot. Yeah, I knit this, I think I knit this in maybe 2017. And it's very blankety as well. You can just kind of pile it all up. Yeah, really pretty. And if you were going to use your shawl cuff, then you just gather all this up and you just snap it shut. It just adds a little something, you know. And you can twist it around so you don't see the snap quite so much if you don't like that. But yeah, it gets a lot of wear as well. On, you know, normal times when I'm actually going out places. I haven't been wearing them a lot this year. One, because it's only really dipped below 0 for the first time this week. and just 2 because I'm not going like a ton of places. But honestly, I have to say, now that I've tried all these on and now that I have this one on, I'm like, this looks great. Why am I not wearing these more often? So maybe it's a good thing that I decided to do this video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed learning about my shawls. I hope I didn't go through this too quickly or confusingly. If you have any questions, please just ask me down below. Like I said, some things are on Ravelry, some of these things are pre-Ravelry. But if Ravelry is an issue for you, accessibility-wise, then please feel free to message me and I'll give you as much information as I can, or just leave a comment down below. And yeah, I just wanted to say thanks so much for everyone who's been joining me and checking out these videos. It's really awesome to read your comments and hear all your suggestions and all your help when I'm having, trouble figuring things out. And yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you if you're a returning viewer, and welcome if you're new. And if you would like to subscribe, that would be awesome. We've had lots of new subscribers. That's been great. Hello to all of you and welcome. And I hope that you are enjoying what you're seeing so far. And thank you to everyone who's kind of been around since the beginning, since September, because it's really fun to see familiar names coming up on the comments week after week. It's great. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed learning about all the shawls I've knit. I hope this gave you some inspiration on maybe some things you can do in your own, like things out of your stash, maybe single skeins, or, maybe treat yourself to something new. The other thing I wanted to mention is until the end of this month, the Fresh Start Knit Along is happening on Instagram. So you can hashtag your projects with Fresh Start, KAL 2021. And the only criteria here is I want you to start a new project, new year, new project, or if you can find something that you haven't been working on in a while that needs some love, then you can pull that out and give it a fresh start. So yeah, please post your photos on there. I know I haven't been super active posting myself and I apologize for that, but I will be drawing a prize at the end of the month. So if you think of it, throw that hashtag on, and you're probably going to get a skein of hand knit, no, a skein of hand dyed yarn. I'm not going to knit you anything. And some sort of treats from the studio. We'll see what I can come up with. So anyways, I hope you all have a great week, and I hope you're all safe and happy, and we'll see you again soon.